Hi, welcome back. Certainly glad you could join me today. You ready to do a fantastic little painting with me? Good. Tell you what, let's start out and have them run all the colors across the screen that you need to paint along with me. And while they're doing that, let's go on up here. I have my standard old pre-stretched canvas up here. It's been covered with liquid white and it's ready to go. So let's get started. I thought today, let's do a little winter scene. Maybe one that's really cold and you'll have to put on your coat for this one's over. So let's start out with a little touch of Prussian blue on the 2-inch brush and just a small amount. I'm going to reach up here and grab a little of the midnight black too. Need very little color. Both of these colors are extremely, extremely strong. So be careful with them. Be careful. They'll eat up your whole world in just a heartbeat. Okay. Now we have those sort of just mixed on the brush. I want to just sort of dance in just all kinds of little things. Just take the brush and do little circles. Just little happy circles. Let it spin in all kinds of directions, just back and forth, one way then the other. And just let it play. Let all these little brush strokes happen. Don't stay in one place and keep mixing. Look like a big gob in the sky. Just keep the brush moving. Let it bounce and play and have fun. Just let it go. Maybe we'll darken this like that. If it's darker out here and gets lighter toward the center, then it'll automatically it'll bring your eye down to this lighter area. See? There we go. Just sort of let this bounce and play and have fun. And you know me, shoot, I love water. I'm a water fanatic. So let's put a little bit of water in this painting. I'll use exactly the same colors, the blue and the black, or black and blue, whichever. And let's just drop in a little bit of water. Pull from the outside inward, like so. Just like so. There. Then we'll go over to the other side, add a little more paint to the brush, and do the same thing. I don't know exactly where we'll have water, but wherever. Now I want to leave a little area open here where there's no color. Nothing there but the liquid white. And I'll show you why in just a second. There we go. But pull from the outside in. If you start here and pull across, you're going to get great big marks that are very, very difficult to get rid of. Okay. Wash the old brush. Wash the old brush. There's a screen in the bottom of this can that I scrub the brush against. The screen allows the solid materials to settle to the bottom, and it keeps your thinner relatively clean. Now with a clean dry brush, I'm just going to grab this and go all the way across. And that light area will remain there, and it'll look like a sheen of light coming across your water when we're done. Sort of sneaky, huh? We look for easy ways to do things. That's what makes this style of painting so fantastic. Even if you've never painted, this will work for you. There we go. Okay, up here in the sky, I'm just going to take and just sort of wind this up a little bit. Just mix it and stir it all kind of directions. But I'm using basically just the corner of the brush, and I'm just sort of stirring it up. Just blending and mixing, just letting the brush sort of slide around. There. I don't want to kill all these shapes that I've made, but I want to diffuse them. Make them softer. There. Okay. Now you could stop right there and have one very nice stormy looking sky. And for a lot of paintings, that would be just right. It'd make you a beautiful sky. But let's play a little bit today. Tell you what. I'll take the old 1-inch brush. I'm going to go right into titanium white. I'm going to load the bristles full of paint. A lot of paint. A lot of paint. And let's go right up here. And maybe we're going to have a bright area right here, and we'll put some clouds in. But you can get tough here and just take the brush and sock it. Just sock it. And then begin just blending outward. Just let all these little things just sort of happen and play. See? Sort of look at your light areas, and these shapes will just sort of happen automatically. See? Just sort of let them play and have fun in there, wherever you think they should be. That's exactly where they ought to be. This is a fantastic way of making some beautiful, beautiful sky effects. Just like so. Let them blend and play. But don't stay in one place and just keep working. If you do, it'll end up looking like a big old cotton ball in the sky. We want life in these clouds, action, movement. Just keep them going. Keep them going. Look at all that. All kinds of fantastic little things happening. That easy. There we go. Okay, now then, I have several brushes going, so I don't have to wash them continually. Now then, with a large brush, I want to take just the top corner of the brush, the very top, and just begin blending the base of each one of these little individual shapes we've made. Just blend it using tight little circular strokes, like so. Very gentle, just absolutely just barely caressing the canvas. Make love to the canvas. Gentle, very soft. There we go. Just whisper light. And in your world, you decide how many clouds you want and drop them in. Now I'm beating the brush just to remove excess paint. That's the best way to do it. All you have to do is just beat the devil out of it and it'll take that excess paint out. And you don't have to go through the entire brush cleaning procedure. Now then, we want to fluff these clouds. This is 2 hairs and some air. I mean, you're just barely touching. Lift them upward, like so. Just give them a little circular upward stroke. There, see, just like so. Just lift them up. Remove the excess paint and very lightly, just blend the entire sky. Isn't that something? That easy, you have instant clouds. There. All right. Tell you what, today, let's build some almighty mountains. I like big old mountains. Lived in Alaska for over a dozen years, and Alaska has some of the most beautiful mountain ranges in the world. So we'll take some Prussian blue, some midnight black, little Van Dyke brown, and we'll just mix it together. Pull the paint out as flat as you can get it. Get tough with it. Pull it out, cut across. We have a small roll of paint. There it is, right out on the edge of the knife. Okay. Now maybe there lives in our world right here a little mountain lives up here in the clouds, and you just sort of decide where you want it to be, and firmly, very firmly, push that mountain right into the sky. Get tough with it. Get tough. There. The only thing you're worried about is a nice top edge. You could care less what's happening anywhere else in this mountain. Now we're going to take a large brush and we'll grab that paint and we'll pull it downward. You can see the entire mountain. It's always more distinct at the top than it is the bottom. So by pulling this paint down like that, automatically it mixes with the liquid white and it gets lighter and lighter in value toward the base of the mountain. See there? Now then, let's just take some straight old titanium white. Same way, pull it out flat and cut across and get our small roll of paint again. Just like so. And then with that, take the point of the knife, put it right up here at the top. And no pressure at all. Just touch the mountain and let it flow right on down. It's that simple. No pressure though. Probably the biggest single mistake made is applying too much pressure. Maybe there's a little bit on that peak right there. We'll take a little Prussian blue and white, just mix that together, and we'll use that for a shadow color. You need a shadow color and a highlight color. And same way, we pulled it out, got our little roll of paint. Now let's go right up in here, and in the opposite direction, let's just put some happy little shadows, like so. No pressure. I can't say that enough times. Absolutely no pressure. And you can continually change this mountain. Maybe now there's see, there's a big old thing that lives right out here, big peak. It's your mountain, so you can do anything that you want to do with it. Little ridges here and there. And that's all there is to it. Clean, dry brush. We'll tap that very lightly, following the angles, and lift upward. That creates more mist at the base. Over here, same way. Always follow those angles in your mountain. Tell you what, today, let's have some fun. We'll use that same color. That was black and Prussian blue and Van Dyke brown. Pull it out flat and get our little roll of paint again. Always that little roll of paint. And maybe over here today, on this side, we'll put a monster mountain. This will really give you some practice using the knife. And if you can make mountains with this knife, then you can make roads and houses, stones, anything. Some of the earlier series, we painted entire paintings using nothing but the knife. And mountains will teach you how to make friends with it. And that's what you need. You have to make friends with the equipment. There. Once again, all you're worried about is that nice top shape. Take our large brush, grab this paint, and pull it. Just pull it. It'll move. Because the liquid white's on there, it'll move and it'll mix. If you were trying to do this on a dry canvas, you'd be upset with me. And I don't want you to be upset. I want this to work for you. Because it's a tremendous amount of pleasure in creating a painting that you see in your mind and with your own hands that you put on canvas. It's very, very satisfying. Psychologists would probably tell us it fills some inner need. And I don't know about that. It's just fun and enjoyable. Okay, we'll go back to our white, just plain old titanium white. And let's put some highlights right on this mountain. Follow those angles. Just let that float right down the side of the mountain. No pressure. No pressure. I think I mentioned another series when I was teaching my son Steve to paint. I used to tell him just to pretend that if he wasn't careful, his hand would float right off the canvas and go away. That he was a whisper floating through the mountain. That little son of a gun can paint some mountains now. There. Of course, he spends all his time trying to find his hand that floated away. There. Okay. Now then, we'll come right in here and drop in some little shadows. This is just blue and white. There we go. But you see, just from this exercise, what fantastic mountains can be made quite simply. I'm mixing up a little more shadow color here, ran out. Prussian blue and white. There. Okay, now, once again, though, you can go right back in here, and maybe in your world, you want to have a little peak right there. See, all you have to do is drop it in, make a decision, put a shadow behind it, and that easy. It becomes a separate and complete entity. Our clean, dry brush. Oh, shoot, got ahead of myself. I didn't put any shadows right there. There. And if you don't put a shadow behind each peak, it doesn't look right. It won't come out and play with you. It'll go off and leave you. Okay, let's just tap right here. Still following those angles. Most important. Follow those angles. There. Okay. See? And lift upward very gently, very gently. Always following those angles. Over here, go in this direction. But see, in just a couple of minutes, you've made two planes, two different areas of fantastic mountains. When I was a traditional painter, I might have spent a week just to do that. There we go. Beat off the excess, and we're ready. Tell you what, we just take it same old mountain color that we had. That was Prussian blue, Van Dyke black, Van Dyke brown. I'm just going to mix it back together here with a little white just to lighten it up. till it looks about like so. Let me wipe my knife off. And we'll find, we get an old 1-inch brush, that's good. Now I'm just going to tap the old 1-inch brush right into this color. Just tap it, that's all there is. Very easy. Now then let's have some little foothills. And all you have to do is just tap on some color. See, all you're doing is tapping. Once again, the only thing you're worried about is that nice top edge. Just relax, let it go, and enjoy. That's the only prerequisites. Painting should make you happy. Should always make you happy. If it doesn't make you happy, you're doing the wrong thing. There. Okay. See, and I'm sort of working in layers, leaving some little light areas in there, and those will show up. Just working little layers, and you don't care if you get some down here. Shoot, we'll turn that into reflections, so don't worry about it. It'll be one of those happy accidents that turn out so beautiful. Learn to work with anything that happens. Anything that happens. Because God made trees in all shapes and mountains in all shapes. Anything that you do is right. Don't let it fluster you, as they say in the South. Okay, now while I have that color on the brush, I'm just going to grab this and pull a little bit of it down. This will be our reflections. Like so. Just pull it straight down. Even though this is curved, pull the reflection straight down. You knew that. There we go. Pull it straight down. Now then, that'll be our reflections. Okay. Now I'm going to take a clean 1-inch brush and very gently, very, very gently, you want to grab this in short little strokes, 1/4-inch high type, and begin lifting upward in layers, starting at the top and working down. Just lift straight up. Straight up. If you let them go at an angle, it'll look like little distant trees, and if they're at an angle, it'll look like the wind's blowing about 100 miles an hour and all your trees are going to fall over. So even though it comes down the side of a hill or whatever, trees still grow basically, the majority of them will grow straight up. They'll go up here looking for the sun and the light and all those good things. This is one of the most fantastic ways there is of creating the illusion of a lot of little trees that are far, far away, just little foothills. See? And you can do it so quickly. Then we'll take a little bit of liquid white on the knife. There. And I'm going to pull it out flat. And I'm just going to cut like that and get a tiny little bit on right on the bottom of the knife. And let's go in here. And maybe there's some little areas of snow that live up in there. Now, sometimes the liquid white is real thin. You might want to add a little bit of titanium white to it, just to make it go up in there a little better. You sort of have to test yours and see. There, see? But this is loaded on the bottom of the knife. Normally when we're making water lines, we load it on the top of the knife. This is on the bottom. Okay, and we can take our large brush, pull this straight down. Yeah, straight down, like so. Then go across. That gives us some instant reflections. And come in here. And now we can straighten all this up. Clean up the bottom edges, bring it all together, and have some little lines that protrude out past this. There. We keep these lines basically straight. Even though they're coming downhill, keep them straight, or it'll look like your water's going to run right out of your painting. Maybe a little ripple here and there. And you don't want this water to run out on the floor and get your floor wet. So keep all these lines basically straight, like so. Now we can take our little 1-inch brush and just grab this and lift a little bit of this white up also. And that'll set it in there, bring everything together. It looks like little snowy areas laying in between the trees. There. Whew. Told you this was going to be a cold one. Now then, over here on the other side, tell you what, let's do. Clean off the space here. Put that up there and save it for later. Let's take a big gob of black and blue, put some brown in there. Mix up a pile of paint. Let me clean off my knife. And let's use the old fan brush today. Take the fan brush and go right into that pile of paint. Load both sides full of paint, a lot of paint. Tremendous amount of color on the brush. Now then, maybe there's some big evergreens that live right there. Start off by just touching to give you a center line as sort of a guide. Then use the corner of the brush. And as you work down the tree, apply more and more pressure. I'm still using the same corner, but as you work down, just apply more pressure. Them little son of a guns live right there in your brush. All you got to do is scare them out. Just start at the top and work down. Down like so. There we go. And you put as many or as few trees in your world as you want. Just sort of look at it and make a decision. And sometimes you can put layers of trees. By that I mean maybe there's some trees that are far away. Say if you wanted to have some trees that were farther away, maybe right here, for example. There we go. Now you want to make them smaller and a little bit lighter in color to show distance. There's one. Let's give him a friend. Everybody has to have a friend. You need a friend. There's another one. And maybe even a third one. Wherever. And we can just show you how to make a little peninsula out here. And underneath there, we'll drop in a little color. Take our big brush, pull that down, go across. Isn't that easy? We have instant reflections. Okay, I'm going to take, let's take a little Prussian blue and a little touch of white, making a dark blue color here, just on the 1-inch brush. And let's put in some basic shapes for some nice little bushes that live here. We'll make some little snow-covered bushes today. See, you can just have those come right on out wherever you want them. Wherever you want them. And you need this dark color in here in order to show light. That's all we're doing right now. It's just putting in some shadows. Then we'll come back and put in all the nice highlights. There. Okay. Back to my fan brush. It has white, and a little Prussian blue on it. White and Prussian blue. Let's go up here and just put the indication here and there of a little bit of highlight on these trees. Don't want much. If you put too much, you're going to lose this beautiful contrast just on these very dark trees. And while we have that, we can go in here and put a few highlights in these little grassy areas. Just a few. And with our knife, little waterline here. This is just liquid white. Put us a little waterline right in there. That'll push all that back. Okay, now we'll take a 1-inch brush and I'm going to dip it right into the liquid white. And remember our golden rule, a thin paint will stick to a thick paint. So the liquid white first and then into titanium white, pulling the brush in one direction. Okay, now then, let's just go up here and begin creating all these little snow-covered bushes wherever you think they should live. That's where they ought to be. Okay, do one bush at a time. Just one at a time. Don't get in too big a hurry. Just drop them in. See there? But now, because that dark's back here, these will stand out. Otherwise they just sort of fade right into the background. Tell you what, right here's a nice place for a little cabin. We'll do a quick little cabin. Just scrape out a basic shape with a knife. See, that's all you have to do. Take some Van Dyke brown, a little dark sienna mixed in it. See, make the far side of the roof. Then we'll come right down here. Put in this side of the roof. And we'll Put in the front, the other side of the front, and we need a little side here. Isn't that easy? You got your cabin blocked in. We'll take some brown and white and just barely touch it. Whisper light. Just let this float right down. This is an old cabin. Boy, it's seen its better day. Okay, then we can do a cabinectomy. Cut it off wherever we want it. Take a little brown. Gives us a door. Just sort of highlight that. Cutting through and make the indication of little boards. This old cabin's been deserted out here by the trapper for many years. But maybe there's still a little path here. Comes right out like this. See? Just a little touch of white. And back to our liquid white and titanium white. And we can come back in here. Look at that. The whole bush is growing right over the side of that cabin nearly. And you can put bushes all up and down where the old path used to be. He cuts his yard about like I do. There we go. And you can take the knife and just scrape in a little stick and a twig here. And with that, I think we've got a pretty good winter scene. Try this. You'll like it. And from all of us here, I'd like to wish you happy painting. God bless, and I'll see you next time.